The Croatian flags outside these Zagreb houses aren't simply there out of patriotism. They're there to stop extremists setting fire to homes which used to belong to Serbs. Because of the war, the Serbs who lived in this rundown quarter have all left, and their houses have been taken over by Croatian refugees. In many cases, Croatian and Serb families exchanged houses while the war between their armies raged around them. The Morelja family is an example. They're Croats from northern Bosnia, now under Serb control, who answered an advert in their local paper from the Serb owners of this house. After the exchange was done, their house in Bosnia was destroyed. Here in Zagreb, the Moreljas have been luckier, but they're still rootless, displaced people.
The war is still going on. There is no peace. Everything depends on whether the war will stop, whether we can go back to our villages. We have no houses there, but maybe we could build new ones. I would only go back with the others. If we can't, we have to stay. What can I do?
Families like the Moreljas are most unlikely to return to their homes if, as under the latest Geneva proposals made by Presidents Tudjman and Milosevic, their areas are simply to be handed over to the former enemy. On his return from Geneva, President Tudjman blamed the inaction of the world community for his abandonment of the old Vance-Owen plan.
Because there's been no international military intervention, and there's no chance of it happening, it was necessary to start thinking about modifying the Vance-Owen plan in a way which will be acceptable to all three peoples living there.
But one of those three peoples, the Muslims, without a nation state to protect them, once more find themselves the ones who are pushed around. Every day a queue of Muslim refugees forms outside the Bosnian consulate in Zagreb. These men, women and children fled from their homes in fear, some leaving all their documents behind, others with now useless Yugoslav passports. They now need new papers from a country which barely exists and is being parcelled out by its enemies. The refugees have given up hope of ever seeing a Muslim homeland.
I don't think I have anywhere to go. I lost my husband. I have 2 children. My house is burned, so I have nowhere to return to.
This man simply gestures, "I've had it up to here with the war." This woman mentions her hometown, and that's all she can say. A mangled tail section of a Yugoslav Air Force jet was chosen as Zagreb's instant monument to the Serbo-Croat War of 1991. Afterwards, Serbs were left controlling a third of Croatia. They call it Krajina, with its capital at Knin, and it could spark off a second Serbo-Croat war. That's what Milorad Pupovac is out to avoid. A Serb academic living in Zagreb, he's one of those involved in setting up behind-the-scenes negotiations.
Talks between Zagreb and Belgrade, between Knin and Zagreb, are going on. Of course, between Zagreb and Belgrade, more about political solution than between Zagreb and Knin. Between Zagreb and Knin, the discussion is going on regarding economical, regarding military issues and so on. As a hardest political issue will come in the future.
Professor Pupovac is member of the State Committee for Normalising Serbo-Croat Relations. Its chairman, Josip Manolic, president of the upper house of the Croatian parliament, has confirmed he's the key envoy between Zagreb and Belgrade. Last night, the committee discussed the dangers of this weekend's referendum in Krajina on joining up with the Bosnian Serb mini-state. President Tudjman hinted that a yes vote would provoke strong Croatian retaliation.
Mr. President, if the referendum in the Serbian-occupied parts of Croatia produces a vote in favour of them joining with the Serbs in Bosnia, will you consider that a hostile act to be answered by military means?
I still believe in a peaceful solution, and our side will do everything to bring this about. But let no one think that Croatia could entertain any thoughts of the annexation of Krajina. Nor will Croatia ever accept that the current position will continue indefinitely.
Almost exactly 2 years ago, there were extraordinary scenes of jubilation in the parliament building here in Zagreb as Croatia declared itself independent from the crumbling Yugoslav state.
That outburst of nationalist pride now looks to have been misdirected. It led to a third of Croatian territory falling under Serbian control, to the displacement and impoverishment of hundreds of thousands of Croatian citizens, and to what many now see as the cynical dismemberment of Croatia's neighbour, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Gabi Rado, Channel 4 News, Zagreb.